Imagine carrying a backpack over here throughout your life. A backpack that you carry every single day, every decision, every career choice, and every relationship. And one day, someone comes and tells you, why are you even carrying it? And you're like, yeah, why am I even carrying it? Because most of us carry beliefs with us, which were handed over to us long time back before we were even able to question them. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for a kind introduction. My name is Sharleen Ansari. I'm a global DEI certified professional and a certified corporate trainer. And I'm very happy to be here today. So, talking about the beliefs that decide for us who we should be, what we should do, and how we should behave. They tell us since childhood. But if I ask you this right now, do you even remember who told you all of that? Would you be having any answer for that? Because I'm sure most of us don't even remember that. But still, we carry those beliefs, we carry this burden all our life, till eventually these assumptions become certain expectations from all the genders. Expectations that you have to perform, you have to live, you have to behave, you have to talk, you have to sit, you have to eat, and you have to work in a certain career, and you have to live a certain life. The problem is not about the assumptions becoming expectations. The problem, my friends, is when the expectation is imposed on you and it becomes that it limits your potential to grow. And the moment it starts limiting you, you will never be able to become what you really, really wanted to be. And that is the turning point in your life, when because of being a certain gender, we assign roles to certain genders. For example, let's have an exercise right now with you. If I say a certain word in front of you right now, you don't have to answer it loud, but yes, you have to have an image in your mind. And let's see what happens now. So, when I say a leader, who comes to your mind? Okay, when I say a caregiver, who comes to your mind? So you see, leader is not a gender. Leadership is not a gender. It's a capability. It's a skill. It's a potential. It's a talent that someone has and is born with. All right. Similarly, caregiver is an act. You act, you serve, you help. Do you think there's any limitation to helping people because of your certain gender? No, I don't think so. We need to serve people. Everybody has to serve each other. So before I even further dive into the gender stereotypes, and I'll talk about more about it, how to unlearn it, let me ask you one more thing. When a child is conceived, all right, what is created first? A boy, a girl, or a human being? Of course, a human being. So even God actually sends us first in this world as a human being. And then a gender is decided and handed over to us. A gender only gives us a way of living life. Okay, you're a girl, you live a certain way. You're a boy, you live a certain way. A gender doesn't tell you that you can't be successful, you have to fail because you're a woman, you're a man, you can't cry. You know, we've heard this a lot. Girls are very emotional, men don't cry, men has to be less sympathetic, they have to control their emotions. Females, on the other hand, are very emotional. Females have to choose a certain career. Usually we don't visualize females as traffic policemen instantly, women, right? We always think maybe she's a teacher, or maybe she's, in HR, maybe she's doing something else. We never think of women digging roads. That image doesn't come in our mind. Because we have stereotyped. We have created boundaries around us. And similarly for men also, although we have a lot of makeup artists and a lot of lovers of art in the men category, but still, we still don't consider them in the first row as a hairstylist or as a makeup artist. We don't do that. But ideally speaking, the success has no gender. Failure has no gender. Potential has no gender. Talent has no gender. Then why? Then why do we as humans assess people not based on their skill set or capability, rather the gendered expectations that we have from a certain gender? That's a thought to reflect upon. And so we should actually, and over my journey, I've learned that the limitations are when they're imposed on us, they're actually not really controlling us unless you give them the power to control, unless you allow people to tell you what you're good at, unless you give that opportunity to someone to get into your, way of life. So over my journey, over my work in diversity, equity, inclusion, I've learned that DEI, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, is all about creating environments where your potential is valued, where you are valued, you feel heard, and most importantly, you are respected for your differences. Because see, we all in this hall, in this room, we're not same, we don't look same. Even if we're all females, we look different. Even if we're all males, we still look different. So how do we have the certain boundary of expectation from a certain gender to behave in a certain manner? All right, so even, if I talk about my personal reflection, I'm a banker, a hardcore banker. And all my life, I thought I could only be a good banker because that's safe, You go to work 9 to 5, you do great work, you do maths, you do finance. Wow, what a career. For a good many years, that's all I was doing. But somewhere deep down, this person inside me kept pulling me and asking me that I really want to do more. I want to explore more and learn more. And maybe I have more to offer the world. So what's stopping me? Then I looked around. There's nothing that's stopping me. Is there any rule? No. Any barrier? No. Anybody stopping me? No. Yes, there was a cage that existed in my mind that was stopping me to go further ahead. I was not stepping out of my comfort zone because I was so happy in that comfort zone. But eventually I stepped out. And each time I stepped out, believe you me, I learned something new about myself. So from being a banker to hosting events, to public speaking, to conferences, to now even hosting podcasts, not that I'm giving you an array of my achievements, no, but I'm telling you that each time I learned something new and I realized the limitation was nowhere else but in my mind. And also one more very important realization. You know what? Nobody locked that cage that existed here. I did. I locked myself. And so then I let myself out. And so today, being a woman, yes, you can be an entrepreneur. I'm a banker, plus a public speaker, doing so much. And believe me, I'm more freer, more happier, and more fulfilled also. So all the students over here, I especially want to say this to you. You really have to come out of this cage, and right now, at this stage of your life, you have to start thinking, what are you really good at? You have to know yourself. You have to own your uniqueness, and you have to create your own path. And the moment you create your own path, no one can absolutely stop you from becoming what you want to become, from being what you want to be, and being who you want to be completely. So my friends, growth is not about learning, like Sanam also said earlier. It is about unlearning. One thing and one important realization that I had is that all this happened, people usually think because of learning. Yes, of course, learning is there too. But most of all, unlearning. Unlearning a belief that potential has a gender, that capability has a gender, that success has a gender. And the moment you unlearn this, your way is open. and there's no one to stop you. So before I actually conclude, I want to tell you something that I actually wrote myself. Every stereotype creates a boundary. Every unlearning removes that stereotype. All right? And when all the boundaries disappear, then on the other side of the boundaries is something really, really extraordinary. And that is the human potential. Thank you so very much. Thank you.